This clip is from the Boundary Riders podcast, and if you do enjoy this, then make sure to check out the full episode out every single Wednesday morning on YouTube and Spotify. Let's move into some trade talk. So this is just never stopping at this point. It's just never going to stop. We haven't even started really the trade period.
Does the free agency start this week?
It starts Friday.
So
Friday afternoon, we'll see the first couple of free agents go. We'll probably see, I'm assuming, a lot of like the Todd Konings and Oscar Allens and stuff. They'll probably go straight away. Yeah. And a couple of other ones that slide through in the next few days. Before we move into full trade stuff, I wanted to talk about, first of all, Tasmania, as we've finally got some confirmation regarding how Tasmania are going to be moving into the AFL, some sort of concessions that they're going to be getting, and all that sort of stuff. So Tasmania will be forced to trade 6 of its 11 first-round picks across the first 3 seasons of the AFL. So they will get 11 first-round picks in the first 3 years there. They'll have to trade away 6 of them. I think that's a good idea. I think it lets them have, access to top picks, but they also have to trade them away so other clubs can get access to them. So clubs, I think it's a little bit better than what they did with like the Giants. How the Giants, they just gave all these top picks to them. And it's also the Gold Coast, but not so much. So I think it's a good idea. They've also said the Devils are also been giving a signing bonus pool of $5 million to attract stars from rival clubs. Now, that may sound like a lot, but with players now getting $2 million for like Nasiah, Wanganeen Miller, and we're already expecting that Harley Reid's signing a pretty similar deal to that. Will Ashcroft probably not too far away from signing a deal like that. Nick Dacos as well. That will go away pretty quick. Yeah. So, I think it is a lot of money, obviously, in theory, but I don't think that's going to be as bad as what some people may think. Now, AFL.com.au in May revealed that the Devils will be handed picks 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13 in the first. And the first selection of each subsequent round in the first draft. So that would mean that the second round would be the first pick, third round would be the first pick, fourth round would be the first pick as well. So, but that's a lot, fucking first all the way to 13. But like I said, they have to trade away 6 of them in the first couple of years. So they'll obviously the first draft they'll be involved in is the 2027 draft for the 2028 season. 4 of those picks, number 5, number 7, number 11, and number 13, come with the caveat that they need to trade them. Okay, so that means that 1 and 3 they get to keep. That's not and then the rest they obviously get later in the draft. I mean, 1 and 3 is pretty good, but yeah. And in their second and third drafts, the Devils will be handed fixed picks of number 5 and 9 in both years, which are the top for the club's regular first-round select, which are on top of the club's regular first-round selection. So wherever they finish in the ladder at the end of the season, so if they do finish in 19th spot, they will get first pick as well as 5th and 9th. Okay, so that's not too bad. I don't mind that. I think they've kind of learned from the mistake of how they did with the Giants and the Gold Coast. They kind of but they do want they want this team. We already know this, that they want the Tassie Devils to be successful pretty well straight away, if not in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think everyone wants that too. I think if they are going to work, they need that to happen straight away. They will also have 4 mini draft selections over the next 2 years to trade on access to 17-year-olds in the 4 following drafts, access to pre-list draft talents in their 17th year. So that's obviously players who are just turning 17, spread across the next 2 years. Access to Tasmanian prospects from 2 years before the club's entry into the league. So that's probably in the next couple of year or two, basically. And also, last thing I'll say about Tasmania is, of course, they're going to be in the VFL next year, and Jai Menzies is their first signing.
Interesting pick. I would have. I think you'll see some delisted players now that are in their mid to late 20s.
Especially if they are Tasmanian.
Yeah, especially Tasmanian born. They'll want to play for that team and give them mentorship, leadership roles, sort of thing, to teach the players, and maybe coaching roles when they do enter the AFL.
Yeah, we've already got a couple of Tasmanians around the league already. We've got Seth Campbell, Colby McKercher, Riley Sanders, a couple of younger guys that are through there that a lot of people are kind of expecting that at least a couple of them will probably sign with the Devils when they come into the AFL. I think especially the likes of Sanders and McKercher will be big ones. Seth Campbell seems a little bit more leaning towards staying at the Tigers long term, but obviously that's 3 years away. Who knows what he's going to do there? But I think Tassie will get a pretty big stronghold on a lot of the players that are currently in the AFL. So that'll be good for them. And then West Coast Eagles, it's been revealed that they will get draft concessions in this year's draft. As revealed by Cal Toomey earlier this week, West Coast will receive pick 19 along with 4 extra rookie spots as part of the AFL's assistance package. Oh, I'm sorry. I know the West Coast Eagles have been down the bottom for a while now. They did this to themselves.
Yeah,
they don't fucking deserve this.
They were delusional half to 2020, basically.
Yeah.
When they missed the finals in 2020, yes, it was a COVID year, whoop-de-doo, but that's when their cliff was going down. That's when it was. All of us could see it, but they were so delusional about it that they just kept on powering through. Now, the last two, and since then, they've hit injuries. They've got no depth. They've got no talent really coming through. Except since the last couple of years with Harley Reid, and there's a few good signs, but
it's really only Harley Reid. Yeah. Like, let's be real. Like, I mean, I know there's a couple of like other ones, but
you got to look at like maybe Ruben Jimby.
I like Job Shanahan.
Yeah,
that's my guy. I like him, but there is not a lot,
no.
And they continue to just trade away their top picks for players that are ready made, which is like fine. But then you run into the problem of you're trying to rebuild this club, but you've got no young talent pushing through.
You can have all this experience, but if all the experience, it doesn't have anybody to teach the young people will just they've got no talent. They've got no talent there.
Like if you look at it, like. They've got a couple of good young guys, but there are a lot of players that are just being gifted games, really. I mean, that are just getting gifted games. Now, I'm not trying to throw too much shade on these guys, but like players like Clay Hall, Tyrell Dewar, I mean, I know they have some good games here and there, but are they really going to be fucking the next top talent of the team? Like, I don't know. It just
like
baffles
it's really funny.
Me.
The most talented player that they found this year was the first round draft pick in the mid-season draft in McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the kid but he's a mature ager.
Exactly.
And
so
it's funny that like, they keep bottling it.
Yeah, and now they get this pick 19 along with 4 rookie selections.
Will probably end up being pick 25, 26 or something in the first round.
Yeah.
So
they have the first pick in the draft. And they're thinking a pretty high pick as well for Oscar Allen. I don't think they've said the compensation just yet, but it's probably going to be like 2 or 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it will be a top 5 pick.
Yeah. If they trade that fucking away again, if I was the AFL, I'd just fucking rip that fucking assistance package as well. I don't think they haven't really talked about throwing it away. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to keep it. And I know the draft isn't as like massive as it was last year, but if they throw it away again, I just fucking get rid of them. It's like, you can't get rid of them.
They need some replacements, young talent to help them just develop. They're going to be, West Coast are going to be shit for the next 3 or 4 years. That's just going to happen.
Just the reality of it.
That's the reality. Don't sugarcoat it. That's what's going to happen. And
they need a draft like Richmond. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't. The fact that Richmond have jumped them this year is outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they jumped over North Melbourne. Oh, no, I think they finished below North Melbourne. But
like we said last year, at the start of the year, everyone was expecting Richmond to have 0 wins. Maybe 1 they'd collect. West Coast ended up being the team that had 1 win,
which is one of the worst seasons in. It's the equal worst like win-loss record in AFL history, and in fact, it's probably the worst because we've got 23 games now. So they've actually got the worst with 1 win and 22 losses. It's the worst.
Yeah.
So they went down, even though they picked up players like Liam Baker, Jack Graham as well, and they still went down.
Yeah.
So it's just getting worse, and I don't think they deserve this. They did it to themselves, and they're such a rich club.
Yeah,
but they don't really need it, in my opinion. They should be. They still attract players, the West Coast, and they're bottom of the ladder.
And they're still, because someone else has requested the trade to them this week, I think.
What's that?
Yeah, Tyler Brown.
Tyler Brown, did he actually request a trade today?
Requested today that he was going to West Coast.
That's all right then. I haven't seen that one just yet. We're going to get into the trades and that sort of stuff in a moment. But let's move it to it now. So I'll quickly try and find that one. Just also big news for the Swans. Pete Laddams re-signed. What a great story. Yeah. Pete Laddams, the GOAT. Yeah, so Tyler Young has actually requested a trade to join the West Coast. So players are still joining West Coast. I mean, they're probably paying him overs, let's be real. Fucking, he hasn't played that many games. But he has requested a trade to the West Coast. We've also seen that Malcolm Roses has requested a trade to Sydney. Had some interest from the Tigers, but he wants to join the Swans. And I think this is a very underrated trade for Sydney. I think that we've heavily relied on Tom Papley for a very long time, and we've seen this year that when he was injured, we really struggled up with the small forward department.
Yeah, you had guys coming in like Corey Warner, Caden Cleary. Obviously, with this role change of Sam Wicks going back, when Tom Papley went down, you didn't really have the depth there, and that was someone that was the energizer for Sydney.
Yeah, and I think Malcolm Rose a couple of years ago, I think it was in Stuart Hughes last year, had a very good year. I think he kicked 30-plus goals. And for a small forward who played in a pretty poor team, to kick 30-plus is still a very good year. I think he has the capability, and hopefully he comes in and plays a good role for the Swans. So I think it's a really underrated move. And then one that I didn't see coming, I know there's been rumours and murmurings regarding Christian Petrarca, but I didn't think he'd make a trade request. But apparently he hasn't picked a team as of yet, but at this moment in time, it's either between the Crows or the Suns. Now, the Crows have said that they will not be trading Josh Rochelli. He will not be a part of the deal no matter what. Some people have mentioned the fact that maybe Luke Pedler could be a part of the deal. I've got to be honest with you, bro. If I'm Melbourne, I am not asking for Luke Pedler.
There was suggestions, I think, during the week that Darcy Fogarty will do it, but I think it will be like Rochelli. They won't want Crows won't give up Fogarty for him.
Well, if the Crows do that, they're stupid. There's also talks as well that Taylor Walker's re-signed. I'm sorry, he's been a star. He's been great for so many years for the Crows. Move on. You got to move on from him. We saw in this final series that when they had their three key tools, they couldn't kick a goal. Now Rankin was out, obviously, but they struggled. They couldn't find goals.
I've said this to you. I've said this to a lot of people over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Well, since the Crows left, got out of finals. Taylor Walker, while he's still on that list, the Crows will not win a premiership. I really think that's true. So last week I made a big claim that Bailey Humphrey will never leave the Gold Coast. Under that, Crows will not win a premiership with Taylor Walker on their list.
All right, we've made 2 big calls in the last 2 weeks. We'll clip that up, cut that on TikTok. Someone will put a comment on there saying, oh my God, podcast equipment should be $1 million or something. Have you seen those comments before? Which, I mean, probably valid at this point. Who the fuck wants to listen to us? But I do kind of agree with you. And I think he's just a bit older now. Like, does he really want to end his career in the Sandful?
And the thing is, he played a great year in 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just you're just going to happen over age. You're not going to have Jack Gunston. Is he going to have that good of a year that he did this year? I'd be shocked if he did.
Yeah, and that's not to say that Jack Gunston should be fucking leaving.
No,
but
I'm just saying that, he's had the last 2 years. He's stopping another forward, another player for the Crows going into that team and showing what they've got.
I just can't see him having another preseason. He was slow in those 2 finals. He missed a lot of gettable chances too to keep his team in it. So he's not, even when one of his best thing about Taylor Walker was he was reliant in front of the goals.
Yeah.
If he loses that, what's he in the team for? Like, you've got Thilthorpe obviously, and Fogarty is that second tool now. And we've seen how much nowadays that 3 key forwards, it doesn't really work.
No, it can work under the lid that Eddie had. And it'll work against the shit teams, against the North Melbournes, the shitty defences, but it's not going to work on finals. It's not, because
the ball's always on the ground.
The ball's always on the ground. It's all about pressure in finals, and people are going to, and
you'd think the Crows would have learned from 2017, playing 3 key forwards, Mitch McGovern, Josh Jenkins, and Taylor Walker. You think they would have learned by now, but they fucking haven't. Anyway.
Well, they learnt one thing: the power stance still doesn't work. They got rid of that, so they tried one thing. But
I felt like if they lost that grand final and they continued to do it on every fucking game, they all started walking out like this. I think they should have kept it. I thought it was
actually, they didn't win any of their finals, so maybe they should bring it back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think maybe this, because technically the last final they did win. They did do the power stance, so maybe they should bring it back.
Well, it's stupid. Well, we'll probably just move on. But the thing is that when a Crows fan says, well, percentage-wise, it was a winning percentage of when we used the power stance, because they won 2, they lost 1 with the power stance. That doesn't change the fact that you're looking like an idiot.
Yes. Whatever. Every single time they interview an ex-Crows player now, they all say, yeah, we look fucking stupid.
We look like dickheads.
Yeah, so I think Taylor Walker led that one, to be honest. I think he led that goal. Anyway, we've got a couple of rumours to take a look at here. First of all, Zack Bailey. Seems at this point that the Dons are the ones that are going to look at him. It looks unlikely that they're going to get it done this year, but he will be a free agent in 2026. And it does seem, according to Cal Toomey, that at least 6 years worth will be around $8 million for him. He's going to be offered a lot of money. Zack Bailey, of course, got his first All-Australian jacket this year.
To be honest, 6 years over $8 million for 6 years. I'll be maybe an idiot call, but I feel like that's unders.
Yeah,
I feel like that's unders after that final series from him and All Australian. I think there'll be 1.2 a year.
Yeah,
I think that's a little under, to be honest, how he's playing.
Yeah, well, Mitch Cleary did say as well this week that he's going to have to leave 2, 3, potentially 400 grand per season on the table if he was to stay at the Lions. Which I mean, that seems pretty realistic.
Yeah,
I think that Brisbane I think
least.
when you've got a successful team like the Lions, you're probably gonna, if you want more success, probably gonna leave some money on the table.
It could, and like we said, he's already going to stay. It might depend on how they go at the end of next year. If they win another premiership, he might be like, well, I've won 3, I might as well take some money.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's more than fair enough. I think you win 3 flags for a club. I think you have the right to go. Leaving in sheepish circumstances after not winning a final, it's a bit rude.
Yeah.
It's a bit rude.
Taking all the money and going to a top team, kind of
a cunt move.
Yeah.
But anyway, Kawachi hasn't requested the move at this stage, but it seems all but certain that he is going to be a Crow next year, which kind of surprises me. But they must be offering a bit of money. I mean. Kawachi, it felt like when he moved to Brisbane, they just revived his career. He looked like he was at a bit of a standstill, but I guess now he's won 2 premierships. And I'd be interested to see how much the Crows are offering him, because I do think that I honestly think that Kawachi becomes a better player in a good system, and I don't really think he's going to provide much for a Crows forward line. Like they lost the final series last year because they lost that electricity, that sort of pace around the ground from Isaac Rankin. And Josh Rochelli obviously wasn't very fit. So is Kawachi, if anything, he replaces maybe a Ben Keys.
He's not really the X factor that a Crow's
necessarily
need bring into it. So it'd be interesting. I think he's a good player.
Oh, he's a very good player, but I don't think he's what they need. But
no, but it seems like not like the Neil Bullen type, but he feels like another defensive type of player. Because he can play that defensive forward role, but that's kind of what Ben Keys could do as well. Yeah. So
I'll be interested to see what sort of role he would play for Adelaide next year. Now, sticking with the Lions, Devon Robertson has been... I mean, he signed in 2023 and basically hasn't really played much senior football for the Lions since. He was linked to the West Coast Eagles. He should have taken that.
I don't know why he didn't. I know
he was offered a lot of money to join the West Coast. I mean, he could have been. I mean, he's sitting in the VFL for Lions, bro. You could have been sitting in the Waffle for fucking millions of dollars. Well, at least you're sitting on an AFL list. Yeah. But he's got a little bit of interest from West Coast, but it seems also as well that the Dogs are interested in him. If he would move there.
I just think if you want AFL minutes in midfield, West Coast you go.
Bro,
Bulldogs is where you don't go. It's like when you're a ruckman. The one team you don't go to is Melbourne.
Yeah, I know.
You don't go to.
And for some reason, they keep on getting all these ruckmen into the club.
You don't go to the Bulldogs if you want midfield.
Yeah,
you don't. As we saw with Bailey Smith, he's out the door. As McRae wanted midfield, not going to get it. Had to go to St Kilda. Yeah. Not gonna happen if he goes to the Dogs for Devon Robinson, because
maybe he just wants a VFL premiership. It seems a bit weird. Maybe I don't know about that, but anyway, Charlie Curnow. It seems that his preferred destination is Geelong, and even as the Cats consider Rowan Marshall, they still really don't know how they're going to get this deal done. Now, nothing would involve Shannon Neal going the other way, and even then, Carlton probably wouldn't be open to it.
Well, based on the 2 final series he's played, Shannon Neal, I think it's been horrible. Yeah, both of them. They've been very underrated, very underperforming final series from him. He was carried in the final series, and it was exposed from Harris Andrews in that final. Yeah, in the grand final.
I just don't know why they brought in Reece Stanley if they weren't going to play Mark Blitzars on him, and then they just left Shannon Neal.
I think Shannon Neal being up the ground in the midfield just for 5 minutes in the ruck would have been something to get him in the game. Yeah, like even though if he kicked that big goal like he did in that game, chuck him straight in the midfield and get him around the ball.
Yeah. get him up and about.
and
But then they kind of just let him sit there and just let. And
And
Harris Andrews just fucking took him to
Took
the
the
school.
cleaners.
Yeah,
And
took him to
same
school.
with even in the games that they won in the prelim and in the week before. In the qualifying final, Shannon Neal was dominated by Harris Andrews, and then in the next game against Collingwood, he was dominated for most of that game
Hawthorn.
in Hawthorn. So
Yeah. I still don't think that anything's going to involve that. And I do think that would be stupid from Geelong.
oh yeah,
to do
I
that.
think it would be. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
So it does seem at this stage that, according to John Ralph, this is all from John Ralph, the Charlie Curnow rumour, that so it does seem that Sydney are more likely to land him if he is to go anywhere, as they have 2 first-round picks, and they also mentioned that Will Hayward could be considered in the deal because he was linked to Carlton last year before re-signing. I would not like that if I'm a Swans fan. Will Hayward's actually really impressed me the last couple of seasons with the way he's done well with forward pressure and that. And I think he's a very underrated hybrid forward. I think sometimes he can go missing, but when he is at his when he's at his best and he's kicking goals, taking marks, and bringing that pressure, he's a very good player. And I've said this all along. The Swans, I really don't think they can get a deal done for Charlie Curnow, to be honest with you. I think that, yes, they can offer up 2 first-round selections. Maybe they can offer an Ollie Florent. Maybe they can give up maybe a Hayden McLean type. But do Carlton really want to take that? I don't really think so. They have all the hands here. Sydney are not going to trade Errol Gould. They're not going to trade Heaney. They're not going to trade Warner. They're not going to give up Nick Blakey. And Tom Papley seems off the table as well. He seems pretty happy in New South Wales now. So the only way you're going to get it done is to offer a couple of players who are like C grade, B grade players, and then 2 first rounders. And I don't think that's really the way the Swans should do it. I think that I would like Charlie Curnow at the Swans, but I don't want to have to give up a lot. And I know that's like, oh, well, fucking, then you're not getting him then. It's like, well, fine. I don't want him. And I know that's a big call. I know he's a 2-time Coleman medalist, but I don't think we should do it unless you can get him for a relatively good price. But obviously, Carlton are going to ask for overs, and that's how they got to play the game.
Yeah.
They've got him on contract. You ask for overs. All right, we want this, and this. If you can't give it to us, you can't come to the party. We don't want to talk to you. And I think that's what Carlton have every right to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I personally can't see it getting done for anyone really. I do think he'll stay at the Blues next year. I just don't think anyone can get it done. Do you think there's a club that should be able to get it done?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. No, I actually don't think there is a chance that he does end up leaving.
Yeah. I just can't see a club offering enough.
Well, because you got to think Gold Coast are looking at some other players. They've got also their academies.
So they can't give up.
So
draft picks.
they can't give up a lot more. Geelong, I don't. They
shouldn't be allowed to.
No, but they need the ruckman more than they need the forward.
Yeah.
So
I think Shannon Neal's still a good enough player that they can work with him. And
So-
if they were to trade away him and then pick up Curnow, they're going to have no forward line in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, because they're going to be retiring soon.
Yeah.
Even though Jezza Cameron still has a lot in him, he won't be there forever.
No.
At least Shannon Neal will be there for 10 years. Now, this is a rumour that came out of pretty much nowhere, and I don't think it had much substance to it. James Rowbottom was linked as a rumour because BT came out on Triple N and said that there was a top 6 Swans best and fairest player who was thinking of going to the Gold Coast. And everyone said because Brian Taylor has family links to James Rowbottom that he would be an option. Why are these older school journalists trying to get into trade rumours now? Well, it's so ridiculous.
He was kind of right last year when he said that Danaher was going to retire.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a lot different to a trade rumour. But I do agree with you. Yes, he got one right. So he's like, let's do it again. Let's just throw a random player out there. And then, he didn't even say a player.
Well, is Rowbottom out of contract next year or something? Or
I don't think so.
Well, maybe he was doing what you always like to say is increase his contract.
You know what? Maybe he was trying to get a better contract.
Yeah, it's like no one talks about was his nephew?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one talks about him a lot. Let's try and bump up his price.
Yeah, maybe James went to him and said, look, BT, you made that big call about Joe Danaher last year. Can you just try and get a couple of extra numbers on, maybe an extra 0 onto my contract? To be honest, he probably deserves it. He's a very good player, James Rowbottom. I love him. I think he's one of my favourites at Sydney, but it's not going to happen. And Cal Toomey came out pretty quickly talking about this, and he said he doesn't think there's any sort of indication that he's searching for a new home at the Suns or that the Swans are ready to move him on. So I think that was pretty much just out of nowhere and not really much in it. Jamara Ugle-Hagan seems like the only team he's going to go to now, if anyone, is the Gold Coast Suns. His playing future could hinge on the idea of going to the Gold Coast as well. There is no certainty that the Suns will commit to the player, but the fact that they're even open to it does show that he is under consideration. The Bulldogs would let him go for a late draft pick and every last dollar of that $900,000 contract off the books if that was done. And apparently he was caught at the Queensland airport. I can't remember which one. And he, funnily enough, said that he was there to go to Dreamworld. Hopefully he's not down the party streets of Gold Coast during the night. Just keep off of there for Jamara, at least till you've signed the contract. Then you go down there. That's when you fucking party down. Make sure that contract doesn't have anything about anything that's going to void it, all right? Then you can fuck around, all right? Yeah, I can't believe the Gold Coast would even consider it. I'm sorry. And I think the Swans, I'm happy that the Swans aren't linked to it at this point. Let him, if I was them, if I was any club, I would let him try and do the Taron Thomas route where he goes back to the VFL for a year, can show, and then unlike Taron Thomas, actually prove that he's actually changed, and then be picked up by an AFL club if because the talent is there.
He's still contracted anyway, so let him play a full year in Footscray and
true.
see what he does, and just say to him, it's like, Beveridge, you're playing the whole year in the VFL. We want to see that you got the talent to come back.
Yeah, and
if you want a new start, we'll do anything possible to give you that at another club. Yeah. But no one's going to come for you now. No one's coming for you. Let's see how we go.
I think there's also, I'd put the talk though, that the Bulldogs are trying to find a way to cut the contract.
Yeah,
so I think that's probably another thing as well. But I do agree that I think that it's going to be very, very tough. And if a club does take the risk, well, they're going to. I think it's a huge risk.
I think
except if it was Brisbane and Chris Fagan.
Yeah, we've already proven that today.
Yeah, Chris Fagan could change his whole life at this point, but I don't think Brisbane are going to go for him now. Brad Hill was linked to potentially leaving from Sam Edwin, and he quickly commented underneath the comment thing with just black and white colours. So I don't think it'd be funny if he left now, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't think he's leaving. One pie that looks set to be on the out though is Brody Myercheck. It seems that Melbourne's deal is almost too good to refuse, according to Mitch Cleary, and they expect that an announcement will be made soon regarding him on the way out to the D's. It was obviously seen after the prelim final as well. He was in tears, and a lot of players saw that as an indication that it was his last game in black and white.
Do you think
I think he's gone.
Yeah, do you think Stephen May will be part of it?
Oh, maybe, but I think it'd probably be best for both parties. But I think, to be honest, I think Brody Myercheck's not that massive deal. I don't think he changes much at the D's, to be honest with you. I know he's a very consistent player, and he was hampered by injury throughout the second half of the year. But I just don't think he's a guy who's going to change this demon team, because I don't think he can. He's never really proven to me that he's a key number one.
No.
And Melbourne need that player. Unfortunately, I don't think Brody Myercheck gives them that. But yeah, maybe Stephen May goes. We've already heard that he's probably being told to look elsewhere. So maybe it's done, but I don't think it's. I think Melbourne should be looking for someone a bit better. But at the moment, he is 33 years of age. Maybe they can look for someone in the next couple of years. Good news on Collingwood's front, though, that Jamie Elliott has recently re-signed a 2-year contract extension. This came out today, so I was not super surprised by that. I thought that he would re-sign. I thought if any player that they're looking to get, older player that they're looking back and forth which way you should, if they're going to stay or if they're going to go, I thought Jamie would probably stay after that really good year. And then obviously it did actually come out today as well, just before he announced to be resigning, that Carlton were looking at him. So he saw that contract from Carlton. They tried to contact him. He was like, fuck no. Like, I will sign. Hey, can you offer, just add a packet of Oreos a week to the contract and I will sign with you, Collingwood. All right, that's pretty much what happened at that point.
Yep. No, Carlton, I'll sign it right now.
I'll sign it right now. They're like, fuck, not Carlton. Jesus Christ. Now, we did have some interest from Gold Coast as well, but I think that was really the only two choices. Either stay at Collingwood or go to the Gold Coast. Carlton was kind of his trigger to just go, all right, I'll just
that's
resign.
the trigger for me to sign now.
That's the sign. I want to stay in Victoria, but I do not want to play for the Blues. Now, Connor Butterick, it seems at this point he has whittled down his choices for his new team if he wants to move. He did have interest from Brisbane and Essendon, but at this point it seems like that's not going to happen. It's either stay at the Suns, go to the Dogs, or North Melbourne. Interesting to see that he hasn't really decided at this stage.
Yeah, he's shown this year that he can play a bit of forward. He's majority played defence, so it will be interesting. He's been very a capable defender. So either team, I'd say the Dogs if he would go. Probably, I'd be looking at the Dogs.
Yeah, I would do. I don't want to play for North.
Yeah.
I don't want to play for North Melbourne. No. Really, that's what I'd be saying. I don't want to play for fucking North, bro.
It's like,
look, we'll offer you We'll offer you $1 million, and he's like, I guess I'll join North Melbourne. I mean, that's what they did with Aiden Core. Anyway, Sam Flanders. When has he played a massive game of football to worth this amount? I'm sorry. Now, look, I think 900k is the new 600k. I think someone said that in the comments last week, saying that like Harry Perryman's getting offered 900k, so maybe that's what it is. He's getting offered $900,000 for 5 years by St Kilda. Bro, he had a good 2024 season, not a great one. No, let's be real. This guy, yeah, I mean, go get that money, Sam Flanders, but no way. Surely he's not worth that amount of money. How the fuck it? I've been on the wagon of like St Kilda. I've had this big war chest. I've understood a couple of players they've been able to re-sign. How the fuck do they have $900,000 just to throw at fucking Sam Flanders?
An extra $900K. Like they've got Liam Ryan,
Jack Silvani,
Lee Kalia, TDK, signing Nasiah. Is that it?
Yeah. Well, they've also upped the deal for Cal Wilkie to keep him at the club.
And Cal Wilkie, like, where are they getting this money?
I mean, people question Geelong for years. I think we need to start questioning St Kilda if they get all these deals done. Does it make them a top 8 team next year if they get them all?
Some people are saying they have to make the grand final with all those players. It's not like that. But they have to make the 8.
I think the forward line sucks anyway.
Yeah, their forward line it relies on Max King surviving.
Yeah,
on being
able to actually get out there on the field without a wheelchair.
But the way it is at the moment, they have to make semi-final at least. I think they have to win a final.
You got to make a big call like you've done a couple of times.
I'm not. I'm not saying
they will make the grand final 2026. No, they won't. I don't believe that.
The goal is for them next year, how they're going, and if they bring in all those players, is a semi-final at the moment.
All right. And apparently, I forgot to read this part. Essendon has offered even more money for it. Bro, what are you doing, Essendon? Well, look, I know Zach Merritt's leaving, but Sam Flanders is not your answer.
No. Just develop some more midfielders in... who's the player that keeps on not playing for him? Or
What, Nick Martin?
No,
Will Setterfield?
No, the one that's been playing midfield most of the year in the VFL.
Sardis.
Yes, Sardis.
Play. Well, I don't know.
Some more of him and put Ben Hobbs in there and try some more youth. And you can offer the money that you don't offer that as much money for that for Flanders.
Well, over 900k, you're thinking that's got to be $1 million then.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
It's got to be $1 million. Like, what are you offering $1 million to Sam Flanders? I'm sorry to shit on Sam, but Jesus Christ, I mean, by all means, don't do a Devon Robertson and re-sign with fucking whoever you want. Go to fucking get the money while it's there. Yeah. Look, Harry Petty should have done the fucking same thing.
I
don't know why players. I understand like you want to be loyal to your team,
but no one's loyal anymore. No one is.
Well, look at Zach Merritt for one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's been an interesting one, isn't it, Zach Merritt? Now, it seems that according to Sam McClure, which is just a great source for content, he's saying it's an 85% chance that he's going to leave. 85 seems a bit surprising. I'd be going higher than that.
I think 95.
I think it does rely on Essendon do the deal.
Yeah, I think that we've had over the last couple week or so that the new CEO come out and say this.
Andrew Welsh,
wants to say. Someone else came out and said he wants him to he's going to stay. It's either he's out the door.
Yeah,
and
surely.
It's just I think it's just keep face.
Yeah, it is. It's the same face
until trade period comes up.
Yeah, I think it's at that point, and just try to keep his price not from just dwindling to get him out for a second round pick. They need to get him a couple of first rounders for it.
Yeah.